Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. And so far, I've been your host, Zero Yeti. Happy Pride Month. And without further ado, let's go into it. The first animal of the week being the mourning gecko, also known as the common smooth-scaled gecko, is a species of lizard in the family Geckonidae, which is native throughout much of the coastal regions and islands of the Indian and Pacific Oceans, including the Maldives, Sri Lanka, India, Myanmar, Malaysia, Hawaii, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Japan, Taiwan, China, Indonesia, Singapore, Philippines, Papua New Guinea, Fiji, Australia, Samoa, and Guam. It has also been introduced throughout North, South, and Central America and throughout the Seychelles Islands. Here they dwell in a variety of habitats, including rainforests, dry forests, wetlands, coastal deserts, agricultural areas, and even urban areas where they feed upon fruit, arthropods, nectar, and pollen. They are themselves preyed upon by larger reptiles, small birds, small mammals, and large invertebrates. Mourning geckos are social cathermeral animals that can be heard and observed chirping at and chasing one another virtually any time of day or night. These geckos are very agile climbers due to their specialized toe pads that enable them to climb smooth and vertical surfaces and even cross indoor ceilings with ease. Reaching 3 to 4 inches in length, mourning geckos sport cryptic coloration, typically light to dark tan, with dark spots down the length of their back and a brown stripe that runs from their ear to the tip of their nose. This species is also capable of changing their color, appearing lighter or darker to match their surroundings. Mourning geckos are parthenogenic, which means that males are not necessary for reproduction. As such, while males do exist, they are very rare and often sterile. After mating, all females involved in the mating usually lay 1 to 3 eggs at a time and glue them to surfaces in protected locations. Clutches are usually laid every 4 to 6 weeks, with the incubation period for each clutch lasting around 65 days. Under ideal conditions, a mourning gecko will reach sexual maturity around 8 to 10 months of age and may live up to 15 years. Next up is the bonnet-head shark, also known as the shovelhead, is a small endangered member of the hammerhead shark genus Sphaerina, which is native throughout the Caribbean Sea and along both the Atlantic and Pacific coast of the Americas, from as far north as Maine to as far south as Peru, with a particularly abundant populations occurring in the Gulf of Mexico and the Gulf of California. Here they tend to inhabit coastal bays, shallow estuaries, and seagrass meadows, where they live in and travel around in small groups of around 5 to 15 sharks. Bonnetheads hunt by swimming across the seafloor, moving their head in an arc pattern, not unlike a metal detector. They are looking for minute electromagnetic disturbances produced by prey, such as crabs, shrimp, mollusks, and small fish, that are hiding in the sediment. Upon discovery of a creature, the shark sharply turns around and bites into the sediment where the disturbance was detected. If the prey is caught, the bonnethead shark will then use its teeth to slash and grind its prey before using suction to swallow it down. In addition to meaty prey, bonnetheads are also known to feed directly upon seagrass, which can make up to upwards of 60% of their diet. It makes them the only known omnivorous shark species. Reaching 2.5 to 4.5 feet in length and sporting a streamlined grayish-brown body, the bonnethead is characterized by a broad, smooth, spade-like head, which has the smallest cephalofoil of all hammerhead shark species. They are additionally the only sharks known to exhibit sexual dimorphism of the head, with adult females sporting a broadly rounded head, whereas males possess a distinct bulge around the anterior of the cephalofoil. Mating occurs during the late winter or early spring. After a 4 to 5 month pregnancy, a mother bonnethead will give birth to around 4 to 12 pups. Additionally, bonnethead sharks are capable of parthenogenesis, wherein female of the species can reproduce without the need for a male. Offspring produced this way are generally perfectly healthy genetic clones of the mother. Under ideal conditions, a bonnethead may live upwards of 12 years. Next up is the black swan, which is a species of nomadic swan native throughout Australia and New Zealand, with introduced populations occurring throughout Japan, the United States, China, the British Isles, mainland Europe. Here they inhabit wetlands, fresh brackish and saltwater lakes, swamps, and rivers with underwater and emergent vegetation for food nesting materials. They can also be found in flood pastures and tile mudflats, and occasionally in the open sea near islands or shorelines. Their diet is near completely comprised of aquatic plants and algae, which they feed upon in shallow water by dipping their head and neck under the water, keeping their head flat against the bottom while keeping their body horizontal. While feeding in deeper water, the swans will up in to reach lower into the water column. Reach around 3.5 to 4.5 feet in length with a 5 to 6.5 foot wingspan. The black swan is. They sport the proportionally longest necks of any swan. The bill is a bright red with a pale bar and tip, and the legs and feet are generally a grayish black. Adults are mostly black feathered birds with white flight feathers, while juveniles are usually a grayish brown with pale edged feathers. Black swans spend much of the year living alone in pairs or in small flocks. However, during the breeding season, which lasts from around February to September, they may form loose colonies numbering into the hundreds or even thousands. Like other swans, the black swan is a largely monogamous species which typically pairs for life, with over 1/4 of all pairings being homosexual. These pairs use reeds, grasses, and weeds to build a nest that measures between 3 to 4.5 feet in diameter and up to 3.5 feet tall, usually in shallow water or on islands. Here, 4 to 8 greenish-white eggs are incubated for around 35 to 40 days, and after hatching, the chicks are tended to by both parents for around 9 months until fledging. Under ideal conditions, a black swan may live up to 40 years. Next up is the Asiatic lion, also known as the Indian or Persian lion. It is a Panthera leo population, which once existed throughout much of the Middle East and Asia, but has today been restricted to the Gur National Park and the surrounding areas in the Indian state of Gujarat. Here they inhabit both tropical and subtropical dry broadleaf forests, thorny forests, and savannas, where they feed primarily upon chatal, sambar deer, nilgai, domestic cattle, and water buffalo, and less frequently upon wild boar, dromedary camels, and mugger crocodiles. Asiatic lions are themselves preyed upon by mugger crocodiles, Indian leopards, and Bengal tigers. Asiatic lions form smaller, looser prides than that of their African counterparts, with around 3 to 12 individuals comprising most prides. These prides are typically female-led. Interestingly enough, multiple males, around up to 4, may work together to claim and defend and mate with multiple female prides in a given area. Said alliances of males are typically either brothers or lovers. Males are larger than females, reach around 3.5 to 4 feet tall at the shoulder and 300 to 400 pounds in weight, compared to females around 2.5 to 3.5 feet tall at the shoulder and 200 to 300 pounds in weight. The Asiatic lion's fur ranges in color from a ruddy tanny, heavily speckled with black to sandy or buffish gray, sometimes with a silvery sheen in certain lighting. Compared to African lions, male Asiatic lions have darker, less developed manes, with the mating season occurring throughout October and November. Females give birth to around 1 to 4 cubs after a 110-day pregnancy. Cubs become independent at the age of around 2 years, with subadult males leaving their natal pride around 3 years of age to become nomads until they establish their own territory. Under ideal conditions, an Asiatic lion may live up to 18 years. Next up, we have the Isoscelerus clownfish, also known as the false Percula clownfish or the common clownfish. It is a marine fish belonging to the family Pomacentridae, which includes clownfishes and damselfishes. Isoscelerus clownfish are native to the coral reefs and sheltered lagoons throughout the eastern Indian Ocean and western Pacific Ocean, at depths of up to around 50 feet. Here they typically live in pairs or in small groups, forming symbiotic relationships with purple and carpet anemones, wherein the anemones provide the fish with shelter and protection, and the fish in turn provide them with food and protect them from parasites. Generally, Isoscelerus feed on algae, copepods, and zooplankton. They are a small fish that reaches around 2 to 4.5 inches in length, and they sport a stocky oval-shaped body. The coloration of its body is typically an orange to reddish brown, but can also be black or white in some areas throughout their range. It has 3 vertical white stripes outlined with a fine black line. The first passes just behind the eye, and the second passes through the middle of the body and widens forward towards the head in the middle. And the third one circles the caudal pedicle of the tail. Like all anemone fish, they are a protoandrous hermaphroditic species, meaning that they first develop into males and may become females later in life. Salsolaris exhibit phenotypic plasticity when males, females, and juveniles inhabit the same anemone. Within said social group, the female is the dominant and largest member, followed by the dominant male, while the other anemone fish remain non-reproductive. Spawning may occur year-round, with females laying 100 to 1,000 eggs at a time, which the dominant male will then fertilize. The males of the group then usually tend to the eggs until they hatch 6 to 8 days later, and the larvae float away to spend 10 days adrift. They start their lives as clear or transparent, but as they begin to mature, they slowly start to gain the color of their adult species. As juveniles, the young will settle to the bottom of a reef in search of a host anemone, and under ideal conditions in a Salsolaris clownfish live upwards of 15 years. Next up is the rainbow snake, also known as the eel moccasin, the sand hog, the sand snake, or the striped wampum, is a species of large, non-venomous, highly aquatic colubrid snake, which is endemic to the coastal plains of the southeastern United States, from Maryland in the north to Florida in the south, and from as far east as the Atlantic coast to as far west as Louisiana. Here they inhabit a wide range of aquatic habitats, including cypress swamps, marshes, blackwater creeks, slow-moving streams, and sandy coastal plains where they feed mainly upon eels, but as well as small fish, earthworms, frogs, toads, newts, and salamanders. Rainbow snakes are themselves preyed upon by raccoons, herons, red-tailed hawks, and eastern indigo snakes. Rainbow snakes are a shy and secretive species that are strong swimmers, spending most of their lives in water, hiding in aquatic vegetation or in other forms of cover. They're also known to burrow into mud and sand in order to hibernate during winter. Males are typically smaller than females, reach around 3 to 4 feet in length, while females may reach upwards of 5 feet in length. Both sexes sport a glossy, iridescent body with a bluish-black back that has 3 red stripes running down lengthwise. Its underside is red or pink, with 2 to 3 rows of black spots. There is a yellow tint on its head and its sides, and it has a short tail with a sharp tip. Rainbow snakes reach sexual maturity around 2 to 3 years of age and breed once yearly, typically in the late spring or early summer. Females build nests where they lay around 20 eggs, which she stays with until they hatch in the fall. Once hatched, the young receive no parenting, and under ideal conditions, a rainbow snake will live upwards of 19 years. And our extinct animal of the week is Elasmotherium, also known as the Siberian unicorn. It is an extinct genus of large rhinoceros endemic to Eurasia during the Miocene through to the Pleistocene, around 7 million years ago to 33,000 years ago. Elasmotherium was first described in 1809 by German-Russian paleontologist Gotthild Fischer von Walheim, based on a left lower jaw, 4 molars, and the tooth root of a 3rd premolar, which was gifted to the Moscow University by Princess Ekaterina Dashkova in 1807. The genus name derives from the ancient Greek elasmos, meaning laminated, and therion, meaning beast, in reference to the laminated folding of the tooth enamel. Since then, hundreds of fossils, including several nearly complete skeletons, are known from Eastern Europe, Russia, China, and the Middle East, with 5 species being recognized, those being E. chaprovicum, E. pai, E. coscaceum, E. primigium, and E. sibiricum. Reaching up to 16 feet in length and 8 feet tall at the shoulder, around 4 to 5 tons in weight, Elasmotherium was one of the largest rhinos to ever live, being comparable to mammoths in size. This woolly beast is traditionally thought to have had a keratinous horn, indicated by a circular dome on the forehead and a large hump of muscle on the back. However, a 2021 study challenged this and found Elasmotherium's cranial dome and neck musculature to be better suited for a smaller horn or a hard cranial boss, like that of the dinosaur Pachyrhinosaurus. In life, Elasmotherium would have roamed the vast mammoth steppe, feeding upon grasses, forbs, shrubs, and flowers, alongside creatures such as the woolly mammoth, horses, cave bears, steppe bison, cave lions, cave hyenas, and its smaller relative, the woolly rhino. As always, take care to my guys, gals, and non binary pals. Happy Pride Month.